Not familiar with the caucus process? He'll be caucusing himself because you're a resident of Bangor.
That is correct. Thank you all for allowing me to be here. First of all, I didn't plan a speech, so I'm probably more nervous than you are. Anyway, just a little bit about me real quick. I'm from the county originally, born and raised in Maine, seventh generation Mainer. And I went away for several years in the United States Army for 7 years. I served on active duty. I did a lot of peacekeeping operations, counter-drug operations, etc. as a pilot. I've been serving in the Air National Guard for 6 years. I've served 4 tours in Afghanistan, and I'll go for a 5th in about 6 more months. So I'm familiar with the foreign policy. And another clap for all the other veterans that are here, because I know that. Thank you all for your service, I appreciate that. But I'm actually, quite honestly, very ashamed that I've never participated in any democratic process in my entire life. I've been a registered independent for a long time, but I most recently have gotten involved in politics simply because I feel as though there's a need for it. We started really turning our backs, I think, a lot on what is important, which is the small town involvement, and that's why it's so great to see you all here. And I like Tracy said, I was never too familiar with the caucus process, but it became very important to me to become familiar with the process and also participate, because this is the foundation of being a citizen in this great country, is to participate in the process. So thank you all for being here and participating in this process. So on behalf of myself, I'm speaking for myself, I truly believe in the principles and the values that Dr. Ron Paul stands for. And some of you may not be familiar with his, for what he does stand for, and maybe you're not paying as much attention to what he has to say. But I truly believe that he has a voice, that he shares a voice with fellow Americans in this country, and probably a larger number of people than you really can even fathom. Ron Paul supporters are extremely loyal because they believe in his message. And I think his message is really worth listening to, and even after this presidency, or this election process, if it doesn't work out in his favor, that message is not going away. So please pay attention and take the time to consider him as being an electable candidate, because he absolutely is electable. And there are some definite problems that we have fiscally in this country that he's going to address without taking away existing programs that are in place. He is a veteran himself, so he's definitely, for any of you veterans out there, he's definitely looking to maintain those programs, Social Security, Medicare, existing programs. And most of the burden will probably be felt upon the youth, because there's people like me that I will continue to pay into Social Security until the day I die, because I have a mother, I'm a son, and I care for my parents, I care for my grandparents, I care for my aunts and uncles. And that's a role that I want to play, and I think that's a role that he shares as caring. But I am willing to sacrifice any future benefit for myself to save this country, because I think we're in a really sad state of affairs financially, and it needs to be addressed. And he's the only one that's honestly addressed that issue, and he's willing to cut spending, which a lot of people talk about it, but they don't do it. And as far as defense spending, people are concerned about that. You have no reason to be concerned. I am your defense right now. I am a veteran, and I can continue to serve, and I can tell you right now, your men and women in the United States services, they have the equipment that they need, but we need to take a strong look at our foreign policy and make sure that we're going in the right direction to keep our country strong here and to keep ourselves secure here. So as far as a nation, as a service member, I can assure you that we are here to protect you, but listen to your veterans, because there's a lot of veterans that are concerned about the fiscal direction of our country and what part that could play as far as the future of our country. So just on behalf of myself, I just really ask you, if you haven't taken a look at him as a presidential candidate, please take the time to become familiar with the issues, and maybe question if you're supporting someone else, that's fine, but start to look at the issues individually and just and take them seriously, because I think he's a serious candidate and he should be taken very seriously. So thank you for the time, and I appreciate it.
Would anyone like to make a presentation on any other Republican presidential candidate's behalf? Okay. I am going to